Shalom, give it all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahshai, Bashem, Makakudah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there, Shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video, if you lay with your wife during her period. What I mean by that is, before, let's say you lay with your wife on the 6th day. Normally, whether you experience this or not, if you have a woman, you have a period, they bleed. You know the whole science behind that. And sometimes they'll stop in 4 days, sometimes in 5 days. Even though it stops in 4 or 5 or 3 days, you're still not to get with her until the 7th day is complete. So you got exactly 7 days. Let's say it was 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, she got a period. Well, you got to wait exactly 7 days, 6 p.m. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Simple math. So my question is this, which is also part of the title. If you lay with her before the 7 days, is that fornication? What I mean by fornication, or is that the act of fornication? What I mean by fornication is adultery. Let me say it in another way. If you lay with your wife, your lawful wife, during her period, before the 7 days are up, I'll condense the topic down. Is that adultery? And the answer is absolutely not. Because the punishment for adultery is death. So if you happen to lay with your wife, your lawful wife, your wife, and you lay with her on the 5th day or the 6th day, that, according to some Israelite groups, I'll say group at least, they say that's a fornication. You're in the act of fornication, which fornication, if you go to the New Testament, fornication goes to the word adultery. So if you lay with your woman on the 5th day of 5 days into a period, they find out about it, they can put you to death. These Israelite groups are waxing worse and worse. So let's read this. And I was speaking about this with Apostle Rhyme Lob, because I was saying, well, maybe I'm wrong. Let me ask somebody else. I wasn't wrong, but I said, maybe I'm in a dream. I said, this is madness. Anyway, I showed him the video where the individual actually said that. It says Leviticus 15 and 19. This is all we got to read, but we're going to read to the 24th verse. It says, and if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, which is a period, she shall be put apart 7 days. And whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening. It says, touch her. Goes on to read, and everything that she layeth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. She sits on something, you touch that, or you sit on it, you're unclean until the evening. And 21st verse, and whosoever touches her bed, not her, but a bed, shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until evening. That's why you have so many hospitals, you got so many sick people, because they're not following the laws. And 22nd verse, and whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening. 23rd verse. And if it be on her bed or on anything, even if she lays on it, well, there's no blood there. Even if she lays on it, that bed becomes contaminated. You're going to have to wash them sheets. She's going to have to wash her clothes. You're going to have to wash your clothes. You're going to have to bathe yourself. And you're going to be unclean. Even if you wash everything, you're still going to be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed or anything whereon she sitteth, when he or she, anybody touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. Hey, you shouldn't be hugging women out there in the street. Oh, what's up, Sarah? You know, whatever. She might be on a period, bro. You should. Hey, Paul said it's good for a man not to touch a woman, because she might be on her period. 24 verse. And if any man lie with her at all, lay down with her, have sex with her, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed thereon all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean. You got to clean the sheets, you got to clean your clothes, you got to clean yourself, and you're unclean for 7 days if you lie with her. It's good for a man not to touch a woman. Now, what Paul meant by that, in actuality, is adultery. You know, that's why he said, "Let every man have his own wife." You got IUIC saying that means you can have one wife. No, if you had more than one wife, they got to be your wives. That's what that means. So let me read this again. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him. Let's look up the word flowers. I just looked it up. I'm going to look it up again. Yeah, where is it? Flowers. Let's look up the word flowers. The word there is nada. Impurity, filthiness, menstruous, on her period, set apart, because in 7 days she's got to be set apart. Impurity. That's a filtering mechanism. When a woman is ready to give birth, she has to be clean of ceremonial impurity, of menstruation, impure thing, of idolatry, immorality, because there's spiritual fornication. Israel committed fornication or adultery with these other gods and nations, the gods of the other nations. So the Most High referred to us as we are adulterers. All right. It says menstruation. All right. Men don't go through this. So now I'm gonna show you something. So are you put to death for doing that? Oh, we found out you was having sex with your woman. She was still on her period. We're gonna line you up and not take you out with these stones. No, that's ludicrous. That's stupidity. You got a group of guys that say you got to keep the law, but they themselves don't know the law. That's why the Most High gonna break them up. So now let me go over here. What is that? Is it 1 Corinthians 7? Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Put in the word flowers. See how many times it's. All right, 17 times. I want to go to the New Testament. Okay, this is not in the New Testament. So let me go to, what is it, 1 Corinthians 6 or 7? Let me see something. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. The flowers of, let's see if it comes up this way. I know it's in the writings of Paul. 1 Corinthians. Okay, it doesn't come up. Let me do it this way. 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. Let's go 7. If it's not in 7, it's in 6. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, I got it. It was in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Wasn't sure. I should have known though. Okay, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 36. But if a man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, what is a virgin? In this case, the Greek word should be parthenos. If she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not, let them marry. Let's look up the word flower and let's see what the Greek word is. The original Greek. Okay, virgin is parthenos. And it's talking about an actual virgin. Matthew's 1, when it speaks about the Mary being a virgin, the word parthenos shouldn't be there. Okay. Okay, flower of her age. So let's listen to the word.
Strong's G 5230. Huperakmos. Huperakmos.
Huperakmos. Beyond the bloom of or prime of life, overripe, plump, and ripe, and so in a greater danger of defilement of a virgin. This means puberty, so you can understand. Past the flower of one's age. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to, let me bring this back. I'm going to go to the Bible Hub. Let's see what they say about this. Okay, right here. Okay. Let's see if the Cambridge is normally the shortest. If she if she passed the flower of age, rather, if she have fully attained a need to acquire literally, and so it ought to be fair, reasonable Jewish maiden who had passed the age of maturity. She becomes mature and was still unmarried. So past the flower of age means puberty. So when does a woman and a boy and a girl experience puberty? About 12. Sometimes 11, sometimes 12. 13, she's fully, she changed. You see her body change. Her, things change, and the parents get scared. Oh boy, she's past the flower of her age. That's what it means. Let me see what it says right here. Bear me for a minute. If she be above age or of full age, meaning puberty, when she goes from being a girl to a woman, or he goes from being a boy to a man. When you start growing hairs, your voice gets deeper, and you say, "Why my voice getting deeper?" Because you're going through that change. Men go through that, boys go through that change, and girls go through that change. So so that's why in the ancient world, it wasn't uncommon for a man in his 40s, maybe even in his 50s, to get a woman Israelite woman that was 12, 13 years old. But going back to the point, adultery has nothing to do with laying with a woman during a period. You are unclean. If you lay with her, you're unclean for 7 days. If you touch anything if you sat on something that she sat on, you're unclean until the evening. If you lie with her, you're unclean. And then guess what? After 7 days, you're good. You don't get stoned to death. You're not in the act committing the going against the law as far as adultery is concerned. That's ludicrous, and that's stupidity, man. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. I went a little long. But you gotta explain things, because you got stupid people out there. If you lay with your wife during her period and it's not 7 days, that's adultery. Get the fuck out of here.